I don't know, just kind of trying to always kind of follow the inner kid, because there is, as you grow up, like a logical mindset that you kind of can easily fall into. Yeah. And I've always tried to keep that wonder alive and that childhood wonder alive.
Oh, what advice that is, for a moment, I'd like to interject. That is good advice, especially at the times that we're in at the moment, where everything is so serious and fearful and difficult. Yeah, I think that is a great life experience passing on of wonderful, simple advice. Remembering, watching, you're a dad now, my kids are, like my first boy was 7 just recently. And similarly to you, I've always been drawn to the energy and the magic in things. Not necessarily magic outright, but the just the wonder of this miraculous experience. And knowing that 7-year cycles, I believe in 7-year cycles. I believe that, our biology and the whole ethos of the cosmos is just this mathematical fucking unwinding. Seeing my little boy turn 7, I'm thinking, wow, like if the science I've read and the feelings I have are right, then there's a good chunk of his foundations are in the ground now. Mm-hmm. And it was just mesmerising to me. And seeing them growing up and knowing that when I get down on my knees and I go into their world and I allow myself to leave my bag at the door, drop on my knees, become a fucking locomotive train or a shark or whatever the fuck I am. I've been Michael Jackson lately. Right? The early version.
Dancing?
Yeah, fucking dancing, and I surprised him the other day.
I saw your lad actually dancing.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
He's just done us another one tonight. He's getting better, by the way. This is what I'm saying, Kieran, like just tonight, before we had a quick lay down, so I've been in the studio all day. I had a quick lay down in the house, came back out to the studio. Just before I came out, Jesse's come in, and he's a bit shy, but when he goes, he goes. So once he gets over the line of like, yeah, I'm going to do it. So he said, put Billie Jean on. We've got a wig. He's got the hat. So he comes in, he put the wig and got the hat on. And just from last week, the improvements he's made, and the commitment and the ownership of his body and his movement that's starting to come is fascinating. And as I'm watching him, and I've got a picture of me that I showed them that mesmerised them a couple of weeks ago. It's a picture of me when I'm like their age. I'm 5. I've got like a He-Man sword, big white hair, and Michael Jackson Thriller jumper. And as I looked at the picture, I thought, fuck, I was living when it was happening.
Yeah.
Like I was there having this mesmerising experience of Michael Jackson at the minute, which we've been on this, as you'll know, as you go through it, you'll be on Bob the Builder for however long, then you'll be on this, and it's just these mad.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson, we've been on probably the longest than anything, longer than Sonic was the last one. But anyway, they see this picture of me with Michael Jackson, and I'm their age, and their little brains are like, whoa. And I was like, well, yeah, when we're watching these videos, this is from like the 80s when I was small.
Yeah.
And then I'm watching him dance tonight, and I'm thinking, so many levels of magic are happening here.
Yeah.
Because number one, this music is still, regardless of what your politics are.
Yes, yeah. He is the guy that just transcends it, because his music is fucking unbelievable.
The politics, who fucking knows, right? Yeah. But Billie Jean comes on. I defy anybody who's got any sense of fucking any kind of a rhythm. Anyway, so I'm watching him dance, and I'm thinking, man, this is mental that this music is still in the world and permeating young minds.
Ether, like oozing in kids' minds.
These
still.
6-year-olds of whatever's going on now in the world, and granted, we don't have telly and media, and we're not like being inundated with the current culture, because Terence told us not to.
Culture is not your friend.
Culture is not your friend. So I'm watching him, and I'm thinking, God, that's mental on that level. Like, this is still creating the magic for the kids, because they not just dancing to it, they want to be this performing, majestic, moving creature.
Become something.
And so as he's doing it, he's really going for it, and he's getting lost in it, and I'm just thinking, fucking hell, this is what he's experiencing now. What my little boy's experiencing now is this bliss zen, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like flow. It's like complete flow of, and it's funny you mentioned music as well. Like, that's something that I've always linked with magic as well. And I think a lot of songwriters do as well. It's not part of you. Are you tuning into it? Are you downloading it? Is it a magical download?
Yeah.
But yeah, when kids dance, I did dance actually for GCSE. Like,
did you really?
Yeah.
Come on, Kieran. We're at the end of this podcast.
It was pretty good, man. We just, well, to be fair, a lot. Well,
What contemporary stuff or what?
no, it's kind of like street dance.
Okay.
So I was into breakdancing when I was a younger
Oh,
kid,
yeah,
a little
yeah,
bit.
yeah,
Always
yeah.
at the discos when Run DMC came on.
Yeah.
There was always a guy though that could breakdance better than me, but you know, you got to try.
Yeah, I love that. More great advice. Too right.
But yeah, I just decided to do it as a. It was just an after school what was it called? Like a twilight class. I got a B in it though. It was pretty good. I mean, I just like the expression of it. If anything, it's like ecstatic dance though. Like when you get into shamanism, like ecstatic dance. You know, just getting lost in the moment. Raves. It all coalesces and leads to that like moment of bliss.
Which is what I was witnessing, literally. And then coming back to the point being, you finding magic, wanting to retain that sense of freedom and childlike wonder, you know, and acceptance of things that you don't know and all that.
Yeah,
that's what I experienced from him, and I'm having it every day. In certain ways, I catch myself in those moments and like, whoa, it's happening, and embrace it. And when I allow myself, which is pretty much all the time because I'm a silly boy, I'm fucking running around the house on my knees. I'm dressed up as Wacko. I'm doing all sorts of stuff, and I'm telling you, man, it does something to you. Not just in that moment of exchange with your children and they're being enveloped in this safety and in this connection and in this play, but as I go back out about my day, sit here in these conversations or whatever, there's something about embracing that silliness, that play, that just takes the edge off you a little bit. When you do get back in the lane of fucking, I'll pay the bills and fucking this happens, that happens, and you know.
Definitely, man. It's like, well, there's like laughter as well. It's just allowing yourself just to kind of, well, just be a kid again. And like I'm doing it with Bobby quite a bit now. And like, I mean, sometimes you really do try to impress and he just doesn't give a shit. You're like, come on. Like you just find yourself doing stuff, making weird noises and just contorting your body in weird ways and just like trying to get anything out of him. But you do. And it kind of ignites something within you as well, the wonder again. And I'm like, oh my God, he's really into Thomas the Tank Engine at the minute. I mean, I had mad phase for it.
Yeah. We did.
Yeah, and it's just amazing to sit and watch him watching Thomas. It's just like a fractal paradox of life,
isn't it?
Yeah, but then you realize like you're in the middle of it now. You're like, oh, I'm passing it on. Like I'm copy and pasting myself down the line of history. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, I wonder if his kids will probably watch Thomas. Maybe not, but that awe or something they will find, and that's what I'm conscious of. I mean, you do it amazingly, I think, with your kids, like just finding what they like and just, you know, just allowing them to grow.
Well, that's lovely for you to say. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Definitely, because I think it's important just to let them grow.
Well, I've been actually reading up a lot, and listeners and viewers of the podcast who have been around for a little while know now, you know, Alex and I decided to take our kids out of school. So to cut a long story short, we were never really sure about it and we didn't know how long we'd go anyway. And we always had it in our minds at some point. We maybe thought big school, you know, we'll bring them out and into our environment. Obviously things accelerated last year in a strange way in the world. And lots of things were happening that just brought us back to that thought with some real intensity. And other things happen in the life, like everything does. Everything conspires and timings, everything, isn't it? And if you can see it or you can feel it or you allow it and don't be scared of it, you kind of just trust it. So we pulled them out. And so in doing so, like everything I do, I think, right, okay, well, I've got my instincts, I've got my feelings. Let me read up. Let me find out what the scientists are saying, what does the history books say, and what does the future look like. And I came across John Holt, who's a renegade in this field, who was a teacher, who then spent a hell of a lot of the rest of his life dedicated to how children learn, how children fail, structures of education, you know, and what is best for them. And as you just said, and it's such a reassuring thing, it's about grabbing what they're on with, recognising what they're on with, and then just trying to create the environment where that's available in a safe, loving way. That's it. And if you're engaged, because it's one thing saying, oh, they love PlayStation, well, get a PlayStation, put it in there and off you go. That's not it.
No.
It's, you know...
He likes playing games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also about being engaged. It really is as simple as that. It's just about being engaged. You know, for instance, at the moment, I think one of the latest ones we did was Fire. So little Jessie's been fucking trying to find me lighters and stuff. You know, we've got a lighter in the kitchen and like candles in the bathroom. So there's a couple of lighters stashed around. And Jesse's into lighting lighters and this all the time. I'm like, whoa, Jesse, listen, right, you need to understand. And they did get a bollocking once. We were out camping not so long back in November, and we had a fire. And I'm putting little one to bed, and it's me and the 3 kids on my own in the woods, in the middle of nowhere.
Just on your own as well?
Me and the 3 kids, yeah.
Man, that's a lot of work. Is that a lot of work?
Yes, it was stressful, but again, this is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
The willingness to be engaged and to be committed. The fruits are just you can't quantify them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm putting them all in the tent, and in Indigo, the my little girl's going in the tent, getting her to sleep, and you know it's a job, man. We've got 2 of them in the woods, in the dark. There's a fire going. I'm kind of half out of the tent. Right, don't go near that fire. They've got sticks, and I don't want to be no, because I know once he burns his hand, he'll realise, oh shit, that's how he'll learn. Me going no. But I don't want him to light his stick and then light the tent and fucking who knows what.
And have a party, yeah.
I'm kind of like, hang on. Yeah. Anyway, they're fucking about with the fire, and they're getting little bits of ember, and there's embers flying over, and one nearly hits the tent, and I'm like, what? And I'm stressed because she's not going to sleep. Right, you 2, sit down, look at me. This fire, this is dangerous. I said, you know, and we had like a quick science lesson on wood burns, wet stuff don't burn, tent, poof. Yeah, tent's gonna go poof.
Yeah.
Your jacket, poof. You know, understand, right? And we have this chat anyway. That's at the weekend. Then later that week, you know, Jesse's got the bug. He's got the fire bug. He's trying to find the lighters, and he's blah blah blah.
Is that after the fire?
Yeah, this is after the fire. Right. So anyway, they're talking about fire. Daddy, what will burn? Will this burn? So then Alex and I, having made the decision we've made and knowing what we now know about child-led, because what we're doing is unschooling. So we're not homeschooling, we're unschooling, which is a whole concept in itself, but it's really simple, which is just what I'm saying, which is we're not necessarily sitting down and going, we're going to do this till 12 o'clock and then at 1 o'clock we're going to do that. It's just, Daddy, will this burn? Will that burn? And it's me going, right, I tell you what, I've got a book where, you know, Robert Burns.
John Dee.
Yeah, John Dee. But fucking who knows, Kieran, yeah. And I mean, it sounds wacky.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It sounds wacky, but... Listen, if there was a camera in my house and some of the topics that we discuss, I'd probably get taken away from it. But no, that's it. That's the thing. And then the connection that's required from you, from the parent, is just, if you enjoy it, and I heard Gabor Mate say this, if you're overjoyed to be in the presence, you know, of anybody, but obviously your children, everything will work out. It's supposed to work out after that. No matter your financial status, you know, if you're overjoyed to be in their presence and that's what you want more than whatever else, it's going to work out.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I love that. And that's what this is what unschooling is. So then we just went, right. Well, my wife, Alex, she led the way. She did brilliant. She's Robert Burns, the Scottish poet. Yeah. So we're messing about with the fire. I'm telling them, we go through a bit of a drill of like, this burns, that don't burn, this is dangerous, that's not dangerous, blah, 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 blah. And then Alex goes through Robert Burns with him and talks about him, and it gets into he was a womanizer and all this kind of attached kind of history and human behaviour. And it ends with them coming up to the shower, Daddy, look. And Alex is like, he's in the shower 2 seconds. Well, they've all done poems, they've all written poems because he was a poet. Jesse's written a poem, it's called Spring. It was beautiful. I won't be able to requote it now. It's only 4 lines, and Sonny's was about his computer game. But the point being is they were that engaged for like 2 hours, 2.5 hours
amazing.
On their steam. So what I've learned via people like John Holt and Alfie Corners is that the way literally the brain behaves and we know this, you've said it about Zen state, and we'll get into it with floating because this is what it opens up. When you want to do something, when you seek it, you absorb it and it attaches to your emotional intelligence as well as your database or your hard drive, your hippocampus or whatever the fuck it is. It means something to you.
Yeah, there's some sort of like it, especially things that you're passionate about, it imprints on your soul on a real deep level. There's only a handful of times I think it's really, when something really, really burns in deep, but it's kind of like a turning point, and it's like a moment of realization as well, of like awakening where it only lasts a few seconds, but you're like, oh my God, I love that.
Just and again, the same thing happens. You know, once you allow that in, and then watching the kids, and what we take from it as the parent, as a participant,
Well, they're
Just
you're getting a lesson, aren't you, as
yeah,
well?
I'm just coming away with like, wow. And the most fundamental thing is if they are happy and if they are having fun and if they're safe and secure, their nose is going to lead them where they're supposed to go.
Yeah. It's an overwhelming feeling, though. You can really go into it. I mean, I completely see why parents just sit and stare at their kids. I mean, I just sit and stare at Bobby just watching telly. Like,
Yeah.
you just get lost in it, and it's a moment, and I think it's such a beautiful thing to kind of like genetically pass on you, but you being awe at the beauty of humans and where you've come from, and you're just in awe of the God you've just created. Do you know what I mean?
God,
and I think
yeah.
it's such a beautiful thing. Like, yeah, it's a different sort of love in your heart for sure. I mean, I've got my love for Annie, and we both agree about this.
Oh,
Well,
I think any couple that are kind of overjoyed, as Gabor Mate put it, to be in this position. Because, listen, without interjecting too deeply into your beautiful flow there, we live in times where it's difficult to be in good harmony with you and your partner because life's tough and the culture has spun us out a bit. You're lucky, you've got a beautiful, harmonious relationship. And when that's in place, when those footings are in the ground and Bobby comes along and the wolf's not at the door, that ability to appreciate and to be overjoyed that's such a gift, because it's difficult for us to be that. It's so difficult these days to find that harmony and that space.
Yeah.
And for you to agree, to be able to agree with your wife wholeheartedly, open-heartedly like that, I love you.
Yeah, I know. She was like, but this is something else.
This is different.
Yeah. I love you to bits to do anything for you, but if it is. It's like it's imprinted on you as well. It's but I mean, it also as well. What I love about parenthood is watching the person you love be a parent. Like I just get lost watching Annie be a mum, and you just like, I can remember you in cubes, and like being a mess, and like it's just amazing to watch them grow as well, and then
Yeah.
It's just this beautiful frenzy just turns in. You just want to be better and make things better. And I love that thing about, what was it again? You feel overjoyed in your heart. That makes sense as well, because it's a mini prayer in a way. Like you're emitting something from here outwards through your energy, electrical body, for your bioelectromagnetic field outwards. There's a reaction going on, and it's joy and it's gratitude, and it's you can go as deep as you want with it as well. Like now when I try and practice gratitude in my meditations, it's always about Bobby as well. Just like, God, thanks for this experience. Thank you for my life. Thank you for this. I've been really trying to get into that recently.
That's
as well.
really, really nice. And again, such a positive bit of advice. Just take a minute.
Yeah.
We're all right. I know things are shit at the minute and we're upside down, but we're not under a rock in fucking Baghdad.
No. Definitely.
And we're not wandering around the Congo either.
No.
It's
I mean, it's just been, I think when I arrived tonight, you were like, try and hold it together. I'm like, me too. Like, I think I've got it all together. I think. I miss people. It's the most I've spoken to someone in a long time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's when technology is good because, thank God for Zoom. But like you say, it's human interaction as well. And it's like human experience. You can kind of bounce off ideas.
You just said it beautifully. That thing that you're experiencing, that love, that joy when you're looking at Annie and Bobby, it's in you and it's coming out of you in the smile, the beaming smile that comes across the room. The moment she looks over and catches you just gazing in that warm bed of gratitude.
That
resonates to her. And this thing, I mean, it's the invisible magic.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, definitely.
It's the magic.
Definitely.
That is magic.
Yeah.
I came to that conclusion that the magic is the simplicity of just allowing yourself to be in the experience, isn't it?
Yeah, and definitely like matter. Matter's not lacking in magic. It's another McKenna quote, but matter is magic. And when you can just sit back and go, this table's fucking magic. Do you know what I mean? It's just
get the vape out. Come on. Yes,
but it is like it's nothing. It's all part of it, and it's all, I don't know. It's all part of you. But it's when you get the emotional responses though, being a parent, you can really. Particularly like we do, me and I do Reiki as well, so you can really tell what's happening as well, like with her if she's had a lot on. 'Cause she does a lot of psychic work. Sometimes she comes home and it's...
Again, Annie, episode 11, I want to say, wonderful conversation we had with Annie. She just came in here and bossed it.
Yeah, she's great, man. Like, I'm always just in awe of her. Like, her poise and her peacefulness that she has about her. I'm always shocked because she's got to live with me. I'm a nightmare. Do you know what I mean? I'm always just like, I can't believe you put up with that. It's amazing.
It's very, very similar dynamics in my house. Yeah, I look at Alex, as, like you say, as a mum, as somebody who manages to harness me and keep me, in a healthy place, but put up with my just...
We're just babbling. I'm sure you're
non-stop.
saying just ideas here and there. No, especially with the podcast and this. You know, when you...
And far out shit as well, that the average Bob is just going to be like...
I mean, sometimes I go far out and Annie's like, she what does she do? She goes, crazy, and walks off. Oh, really? I'm like, oh, I got the glazed eyes. I know what that means.
Oh, it's amazing. Well, you've got a lovely, lovely setup there, and the trajectory of that wanting to find the magic, whatever that was, your mum doing magic, you being exposed to that safety, that nurture, and the enigma of whatever that witchcraft is.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that's all that they're fundamental to the willingness to surrender.
Yeah. I mean, that is the word.
To this experience, and that's ego. It's your ego. It's the fear of everything outside your skin. It's the fear of not being good enough. All of that stuff. When you surrender, because you can feel love, because you've received love, and now you can give love. It all sounds fucking...
Well, it does. You're in the woo, and that's it. But it's true. Like, it is. You surrender to everything, and I've been really working on surrender a lot recently, particularly with the stuff that we did a couple of weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And that's a key part of it. But just being the watcher of yourself, and then going, I'm actually a bit like when you get out of cryo, and you're like, oh, you're observing how you are being, and you're like, oh, well, who's the watcher? It's not me. So I guess, do you know what I mean? If you can watch yourself and be the watcher, that's the best thing to do. Where was I going with this? I was going somewhere with this.
Deep, probably, Kieran.
I know.
You tend to go deep. Go deep. Flotation.com.
Was it surrendering?
Surrendering, yeah.
Yes, no, that was it, yeah. And surrendering with the floats as well, like surrendering, letting it go and just letting it be. And everything, I mean, as fucked up as the world is, everything is exactly where it needs to be. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's all as exactly as it should be. And, depending on how you want to look at that. But I like to think, like, there's calm amongst chaos when you kind of change your level of magnification. So, like, on the you're looking at your skin and a body, like, our bodies are at war all the time with organisms.
Yeah.
Step out, you've got a beautiful, harmonised body. Like, I like to think, romanticise, like, all this shit.
Mm-hmm.
And everything in the world is going, like, on a different level. There's some sort of beauty that's going to shine through from this.
Yeah.
And maybe there is some, calm within the chaos.
Yeah, I agree. I think goodwill's out in the end, But the journey is the journey, isn't it? And we have to earn it. I believe that wholeheartedly. You can't have anything that comes too easy. Mm-hmm. It just doesn't fit with anything, both physical or emotional.
Definitely.
You have to earn it and work for it and go through it and learn those lessons and experience the pain, man. Because then you appreciate the gratitude. Don't you?
Yeah, definitely, man. I mean, this year as well, it's really, people have got time. People have got time back. They don't forget. I know it's crap. You can't see your friends. You can't go out. But now you've got time to sharpen your tools. You've got time to really take log of really what you want. What do you want? How do you want to grow and shine? Whereas being in the rat race, you're in, I mean, to be fair,
just never stop, do you? You don't get time to think.
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, that's why I want, initially, with the floating as well, that's why it stole my heart, because I was just like, wow, it's just a place to go. It's just a place to be. It's a place to just recharge and just being, but I think this year, it's kicked us up, me and Annie, up the arse to kind of sort the website out, kind of go, she's kind of like jumped on the digital Zoom thing. She's doing a lot of psychic workshops now and like healing workshops, and she's doing really well with it. So it's kind of like, weirdly, like a catalyst in a way for what we need to accomplish. And we set up like the online store, and I'm going to eventually try and start like vlogging. I've had a camera and a green screen for months that I ordered back in May.
I saw you did a little run out of a potential podcast, which looked great, and I was really excited. I thought, these two just chatting chemistry is going to be great.
Well, he's going to do it on Saturday, and he was like, podcast tonight, and I'm like, I'm just going to I've been so lazy, and like I need to get back on that.
You might get the bug when this one goes out.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, it's so healing as well, just talking to you as well.
Yeah.
Like Annie said before
God,
I left,
yeah.
she was like, "Oh, it's just such a night." She was like, "What are you going to chat about tonight?" I was like, "I don't know, like whatever, like a lot of stuff I think." But it's really healing. It is really healing.
It's my therapy. This is. I mean, in between. I mean, this talking to people, as simple as that sounds, that's kind of what I'm meditating on at the minute. All the stuff that I'm finding connection to, again, that you're describing beautifully, is so simple and hidden in plain sight. It's that. It's water. It's vegetables. It's breathing. It's talking. It's nature. It's walking. It's all fucking in my pocket.
Yeah.
You
You're
know?
a rich man if you
I
think
don't
of it
need
like
to
that.
fucking check the barcode and the price and wait for the sale. It's just there
Yeah, everyone's rich. Yeah.
if you choose to be.
Well, this is it.
Mm.
I mean, like breath work as well, in surrendering as well, like particularly when I used to do a lot of Wim Hof breathing, I get quite anxious on the holds, because you do like your retention holds, and I just get a lot of anxiety would come over, and it was all about kind of just letting it be and sitting in the moment and just listening to your heartbeat and just letting it all happen. Particularly as well, I think like the past couple of years since I my brain injury a couple of years ago, I've had like...
Which I want to get into, because
Yeah.
we kind of got to there. We didn't really go in deep.
I think it was good that we didn't actually, because
Okay.
when I listened back to it, I was like, I don't think I was ready. I
Yeah.
think I was still processing a lot, because it was only 6 months after
Yeah.
we did the podcast, and I was kind of just like in the mindset of just like, get that fucking behind me. I don't want to, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wanted to get into next year as quickly as
Yeah.
possible.
Put
Just-
new memories in between.
yeah, and I kind of wanted to get over that. So that's kind of where, well, all the stuff I've been getting into recently with the medicines, like that's been really helping, like kind of unpack stuff that I've been really repressed and not wanted to talk about in therapy, but some stuff that just unpacks itself. And the floating's really helped with that. And again, back to the surrender, back to letting it be, you know, just be. And it's
You've created you've done the work. You've created the structure for this, though, haven't you? You know, you've created the relationship that's built on trust, that's built on reverence and respect, and a lot of traditional values that, again, for want or not, they just get eroded a little bit. The traditional value of like, we're so inundated now. You know, it's very easy to be sidetracked.
yeah.
With a wandering eye or a nice inbox or a fucking poke. Can you remember when we used to poke each other?
Yeah,
Poke.
yeah.
Oh yeah, poke. You know, we joke, but it does feel like the abundance of attention that we are now in and in the eye of all the time, whether it's us on the, you know, knowing it or not. It's how do I explain it? I can never put this down. It feels like it's could be easier for us to just drop our bags and move on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when you don't do that, when you stick with something, and as you mentioned earlier with you and Annie, when you have that respect and you see each other and you respect, and you said something lovely. You said, you know, we're laughing about being in cubes off your nut, but then watching her be a mum and watching her grow. You said it was lovely watching her grow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's such a little tiny line. You just, you know, just in amongst what you were saying. But it's beautiful because that's fucking enormous. Because if she's doing that for you as well, that's how you arrive where you are, at this position where, yeah, let's get the float. She's backing you. What do you mean you're going to buy a fucking, what? A 40 grand fucking bath with a lid on?
Yeah.
Not, no, you fuck. We're going to, you know, we're going to Tenerife.
Yeah, that's the thing though, man. She's just let it happen, and it's been a massive like teacher for me. I don't want her to hear this. Do you know what I mean? Like, even when I mentioned about the float centre, she was like, "Oh, what?" And like, we went on a honeymoon, and like I did a float there, and she was like, "Oh, that sounds cool," but it was a bit of a risk. She was like, "Do you think people are going to come?" I mean, the bank said that to me. I got turned down 4 times from the bank.
Really?
Yeah, and I just kept going and was like, "No, this has to work." And then we're like, "Well, it's just a hell of a lot of money to spend on something." And the bank was saying, "What's your market research like?" And I was like,
There isn't a lot,
"There isn't
my
a
friend.
lot on it. Like, no one really knows."
It's like 400 centres on the whole planet at that time.
Yeah, definitely. So she's always been, again, like you're talking about raising kids. Maybe she's raising me as well. Like, she just let me kind of go and grow at how I want to. And
Yeah, but don't underestimate your impact though as well. You know, I'm sure Annie, she takes a lot from you as well. You know, you've got a lovely, warm, selfless energy.
Oh, thanks, man.
You have.
You too, man.
You have, and that I mean, I work on mine. I have to work hard on mine because that is not my natural setting. But I do work hard on it. But you have got that, and you make a lovely team. This is why you're in the, like I was saying there, you're building this life now. You've got a little Bobby, you've got your lovely place out there, you've got the business up and running. As you mentioned, even adapting in the eye of the storm. You talked about adapting to this crazy fucking difficult time, but you're choosing to find, okay, right, the sky's falling, but let's find a way. Let's
Evolution,
find
adapt.
something.
You know, when an organism's pushed into a corner, you evolve and you adapt.